Welcome back to 40 Score Sports, episode 49. We're almost, I guess, halfway there. I don't know. I'm Ryan. I'm joined with Colt. What's good? Keith,
Sam.
Zach,
What up?
and Caleb.
What's up?
So this week we're going to be going over NBA playoff basketball. The real playoffs start at the time of recording. What is it? The Grizzlies, the Mavericks, and the Jazz are about to start their first game. They're about to tip as we're recording. So that's our references on this. We're going to talk NBA. We're going to talk baseball started. Hockey's getting in the playoffs. WNBA is going on. We're kind of going to save the NFL for next week because, the draft's coming up after that. So other than that, let's go ahead and jump right into it. And why don't we go ahead and start in the NBA? Oh, you saw my Wordle. Sorry. Let's start in the NBA. Let's start with this series, and let's go the Jazz and Mavericks. In this series, I saw a tweet this morning. Do you guys follow Stat News?
I don't, but I see all of their tweets.
I always pop up for me.
I'm always on their page.
Yeah, and they have like all these parody accounts like Hater Muse, and they have one that I saw this morning. It's called What If Muse. It said, would the Jazz win the finals if Rudy Gobert had Steph Curry's straight up range and shooting ability? But he's not as athletic. He doesn't create his own shots that well, but he can pull up the half court like 2015 Steph. I don't think they win the finals, especially because he's only getting the ball twice from Donovan Mitchell a game.
Isn't that just Jokic, without the playmaking?
Low key, with a little bit more range.
I feel like it's noteworthy that Luka isn't playing game one. It's about to tip off right now. He's not playing game one, and he's not supposed to play game two. As of what it looks like right now, he's probably not going to play game two. So you're putting kind of a lot of weight on Dwight Powell, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jalen Brunson, guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., guys like that who maybe aren't used to being, they're really not used to being that number one option. I mean, it's obvious that whatever team he's on, Luka's going to be the number one guy. So I think that's going to come into play. I think that the Jazz jump into a 2-0 lead. And I think it's really important to say that with no Luka the first two games, let's say that the Jazz are able to get up to a 2-0 lead. After they get up to a 2-0 lead, they're going back to Utah. So they'll also have the home court advantage after that. So I like the Jazz in this series. Actually, no. I have the Mavericks. I have the Mavericks in 7. I think when Luka comes back, I don't care where it is. I think that they will drop the first two games of the series, which is why I have it going 7. But I think when Luka comes back, that it'll just be, Luka magic all over again, and hopefully he'll get his first, playoff series dub.
I also like the Mavericks a lot. I feel like I'm kind of like an association Mavericks fan just because of the Cowboys. I like Luka.
You might as well claim. You haven't claimed the NBA team yet. You might as well.
I mean, I like the Hornets. I like players. I've got a WNBA team, guys.
You can't just be a player person. You got to claim one team too.
You ain't got to claim a team.
I don't watch enough. I don't sit there and watch every single game of a team schedule, and I really don't see myself doing that in the NBA.
I don't either.
Sadly, I do. I don't have the light. Sadly, I do that.
Hey, I made the playoffs, baby. No, I like Dallas. I genuinely do think when Luka comes back, he's gonna have maybe one rusty game, and rusty for Luka in the playoffs is a 35 piece. And then I think genuinely Luka very well might score 50 in 2 games this series, but give me Mavs in 7.
I have Mavs in 6. Something that, of course, it jogs my memory back from Twitter. I completely forgot that Tim Hardaway Jr. used to play for the Knicks, and along with that, I'm forgetting how long he's been in the league as well. I know they'll miss Luka for sure. But they have several leaders, and I think Jalen Brunson can step up. I think Tim Jr. can step up as well. I got Mavs in 6. Of course, Donovan Mitchell's gonna be a pretty weird matchup, especially if Jordan Clarkson gets hot like he did, was it last year or the year before? I don't know. He's been off and on this year, so maybe he turns up here, but I still got Mavs in 6.
Yeah, I can say my little piece. I actually have Utah in 6 for the pure reason, like Colt said, I think they're probably going to win the first 2 games without Luka there. So going back to Utah for the next 2, and then going back to Utah for a potential game 6 as well, where I think they'll be up 3-2 by then, no matter what Luka does when he comes back. He could be a little rusty. It doesn't matter. Utah's been fantastic at home this year. Their record, I'm pretty sure I just looked it up. They're 29-12 at home this year, which is obviously elite. So yeah, give me Utah in 6. Give me Utah in 6.
Oh, them birds are singing out there. Are you in Imagine or something?
I'm in the forest right now.
Hell yeah.
Just on my back porch. But yeah, it's a lovely day. Everyone, after you listen to this episode, when we release it, get outside, enjoy the day.
Touch
Yeah.
grass. Always.
I'm saying.
Always a good day to go outside.
I barely watched. I didn't watch any of Dallas or Utah this year, but to be different, I'll pick Utah in 7.
Fair enough. Next one we got Philadelphia, the other 4 and 5. Philly versus Toronto. Purely give me Philly in 5. Gentlemen's sweep. Siakam was phenomenal this year. He's an all NBA third team player. Is that fair to say?
I think he's
He came back after a tough year last year. But I just like Philly way too much. James Harden, Joel Embiid. I mean, purely they're going to play 44 minutes a night in the playoffs. They're going to get you in foul trouble. Both of them combined are 2 of the best foul drawers in the league. They're going to get you in foul trouble. The pace is going to be slow. They're going to be kind of rested. You know, I don't know. I don't think Freddie, Van Vliet, and Siakam are enough. But give me Philly in 5. Gentlemen sweep.
Yeah, I also have the Sixers in 5. I like a couple of guys for Toronto. Like Ryan said, I have Siakam on my All NBA team. I think he's been that good this year. Van Vliet hasn't been the most consistent guy this year, but when he's been on both sides of the court. He also plays defense. Coming out of the draft class, my second favorite rookie was Scotty Barnes. I love Scotty Barnes. He's been a great pickup. In my opinion, he's second for Rookie of the Year this year, in my opinion, behind Evan Mobley.
Mm-hmm.
I like Scotty Barnes a lot. I've watched him at Mount Verde, Florida State. I like him a lot. And then they also have Gary Trent, a Duke boy, who has easily had one of the most underrated seasons this year of any NBA player, in my opinion. He's going out and getting 25 a night. So I think that for a couple of games, they might be able to push it close. But like Ryan said, they're just developing that chemistry. You can see them as the year goes on. They're just getting better and better. Harden and Embiid on the same court is going to be hard. Hopefully Harden hits my 10.5 over prop for assists tonight so I can secure my bread. I need him to be diming them boys tonight. But yeah, I like the Sixers tonight. I just think the playoff experience that they have, 3-and-D guys all over the place, and they have a coach who's been there and done that with Doc Rivers. I like the Sixers in the first round in 5.
I'll take Sixers in 6. I haven't been watching either teams at all. As far as with the Sixers, I know Joel Embiid has been snapping. And for some reason, I forgot where I looked, but the Sixers had a stat for Paul Reed. And I was thinking, well, they're getting a little bit of production out of different players. Tyrese Maxey has been doing pretty well. I'm guessing Shake Milton is still there. He's doing pretty well. I think the only thing that draws them back is their staunch defender in Matisse Thybulle can't play the first 2 games because they're in Toronto.
Play any games in Toronto.
Yeah. So they better get it done for sure. At least get that 2-game lead. But yeah, the Sixers.
He's their best perimeter defender, and it's not even close.
Yeah,
that's huge for Toronto.
So if
I
that's
thought that the NBA would have ever gotten like this, you know what I mean?
you could have kind of imagine, because I was just thinking, imagine if the Raptors end up going to the Eastern Conference Finals just because of that rule. And I remember saying something like that, I think the end of last year, the beginning of this year, because now they have those rules, and Canada still staying strong on the vaccination rules and stuff. And I kept thinking that's going to impact somebody as far as how the NBA and NFL handle, being vaccinated and stuff. Somebody's going to have a leg up on somebody just because somebody can't play. And I don't know, that might have been the end game if you think about it. But yeah, Toronto got in 6. Whoa, tripping. Philly in 6.
Yeah, I hate to be the same, but I actually like Philly in the series as well. I think it'll go 7 though. I think it goes the distance. I think they'll struggle a little bit more. Like I like that you mentioned that Thibault can't play. He's a really, or at least in Toronto, he's a really good on-ball defender. In theory, one of these guys, such as like Colt mentioned, Gary Trent, or obviously Mini Drake, Fred VanVleet, could light up a couple games from the outside, get hot from 3, win a couple games at home in Toronto. But Joel Embiid and them, they're too talented. He's obviously having a monster year. Mentioned Maxey. We mentioned some of these guys. I think they get it done at home in 7. I think it'll be a good series, though.
I'm gonna go Philly in. Give me Philly in 4.
Oh,
Sweep them.
Mm.
They got the scoring leader in Joel Embiid. Philly in 4.
When's LeBron play? He was for sure a top 10 seed, right?
That's
I don't think
fine.
Michael Jordan was ever lower than the fucking 8 seed.
Well, look,
Anyway,
Jordan's number 2 all time. It's okay.
well, shit, he ain't never go below the 10 seed. So real quick, for the 1 versus 8 seeds, Phoenix versus New Orleans. Do we all have Phoenix?
I have Phoenix at 4.
I've got Phoenix, maybe 5 if New Orleans is lucky, but give me Phoenix.
Maybe
Brandon
a
Ingram's
5
cool.
Zion plays. I'd
Yeah.
like that if Zion
If
plays.
Zion played, imagine with the upset if Zion played somehow. No, so we're all going Phoenix, and then are we all gonna go Miami over Atlanta? Is that fair?
I think that's going to be a closer series than people think.
I think
though.
it's
I think
Miami
the
in
Hawks
6.
will steal it.
Miami's gonna win that
I think
series.
it's 6 too.
Did Monty Williams? He was the old coach in New Orleans, right? So
Yeah,
it might just be like a smash and dash. Like this could have been y'all, but it's not. So smash and on to the next one.
Oh yeah.
Chris Paul, the connection right there. Forgot.
So yeah, we're all gonna take Phoenix and Miami. Miami, Atlanta. Shout out Trae Young. Hell of a comeback last night. They were down pretty much the whole time I was watching, I believe, and then I checked and they came back. Also, I saw this thing. Darius Garland wore a shirt last night from like the '95 World Series, and yeah, that was the series where the Braves beat the Indians.
Mm.
Atlanta beat Cleveland, and Garland was wearing that.
Damn.
Yeah, little fun fact for your day. All right, let's get into the 3 versus 4. Sorry, wow, 3 versus 6.
Yeah.
My bad. I want to do Golden State versus Denver. Give me Golden State in like 6. I do think Denver's good. They've got the MVP. But I just think Golden State's got more experience than any team in the playoffs this year. Is that right? I mean, they got Steph, they got Clay, they got Draymond. They got 3 guys that have 3 rings and were key contributors, and Iguodala. They've got a Finals MVP and someone named Steph Curry on their team, type of shit. Give me Golden State. Give me their experience. Give me the home court advantage in Golden State. Give me them in 6.
Is Curry playing?
Yeah, Curry is playing game 1. That was going to be the difference of whether I had him in 6 or 5. He's playing, so I've got Golden State in 5. I just think that team is just way too talented. I think it would be a different story if Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. were playing.
Big time.
But they're not.
They wouldn't be matched up in the first round if they were.
I agree. But they're not. So I'm gonna have to roll with the Splash Brothers and Draymond and Kevon Looney and company. I've got the Warriors in 5.
Man,
Jordan Poole is also a phenomenal young and
Yeah,
up.
he is.
When is it time for Golden State to actually sit there and say, is Jordan Poole better than Klay Thompson?
That's a tough call.
You know what I mean?
I don't. I'm happy for Poole. I'll say this because last year, I think it was last year. Statistically, I think statistically he was the worst player in the NBA. When I don't know what the metric or the statistic was, but between like turnovers, usage rate, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and minutes played, like statistically, like he was the worst player in the NBA, and he's just turned it around. Games where Curry hasn't been able to play and Clay hasn't been able to play, Poole's going out there and giving 25. And we knew in Michigan that he could be that guy coming out of Michigan. He did it in Michigan. So it's good to see him be able to translate it to the NBA level. But yeah.
I'll buy it and say Warriors in 7. People kept saying, I don't know, maybe the Nuggets can give them some sort of fight. Something weird happens. I don't know. They got to get that TV time in. But I know people said, I think last year because Jamal Murray couldn't play. That wasn't a bubble year. Yeah. Last year
Jamal Murray played his ass off in the bubble. You know
that
what
was
I mean?
that was the bubble, but like the following year, that's still hurt.
As soon as they got
And
visitors, he started averaging 40.
Kind of just dawned on me that he can't play this year. And I know Jokic is saying like he's tired. I know he hears it. I know he sees it. He's tired of people saying like, "Oh, Jamal Murray's there." He's like, well, "What the fuck, Jokic? Like, what do you mean?" So like maybe he turns up on that and then gets everybody else involved. He might, I don't know, get his revenge back from all the bullying he's received throughout the years. So, but still, Warriors in 7 because such is life.
Just like you said, such is life. The Warriors have the experience in the playoffs. Steph's coming back. He's going to be hungry after missing some time, of course. And the problem is I can envision a world where Jokic drops 30 bombs and they still lose by 20. So if that's going to happen, they don't have quite the perimeter talent that obviously Golden State does. A little bit of experience. I think they gentlemen sweep them in 5 at home.
I also have Warriors in 5.
Let's switch the order up. Caleb, start with me. Milwaukee and Chicago. Let's run it backwards so we're not all saying the same thing.
Milwaukee in 4. It's going to be disgusting.
I actually have Milwaukee in 5. The Bulls fell off a little bit. They were hot earlier this year. Obviously, DeMar looked like an MVP candidate. They slowed down as a team a little bit. And I like some of those guys. I like Levine and them. But Milwaukee and Giannis and them, they obviously made a run last year. So I don't see why they don't do it again and easily get out of the first round.
Yeah, Milwaukee in 5. Bulls simply do not have any. I know what's the brother's name? Vucevic. He's for sure not stopping Giannis in literally anything. So yeah, Bucks got it in 5.
Yeah. So I've got the Bucks in 6. I think that DeMar and Zach LaVine can win a couple games. I just feel like there's way too much offensive talent on that team for them to get swept between Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Pat Williams, Nikola Vucevic. I just feel like there's way too much talent offensively. Even Caruso to get swept. So I think that they won a couple, but at the end of the day, I just think the reigning champs bringing back all of their guys that have that experience, Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis. I just ultimately think that they win the series, so I'm going to roll with Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm also going to roll in Milwaukee. Chicago, everyone's seen that statistic on Twitter, whatever, how they were 0-16 against the top 3 seeds in each conference at one point, something like that. But I'm taking the defending champs, Giannis, Chris Middleton, and I would like to see this series go to 6. I would really like to see that. I love DeMar DeRozan. I love the Bulls team. Like, how do you not like just that team in general? But give me Milwaukee and realistically 5. I think the Bulls might steal one in Chicago. But yeah, let's go on to Boston, Brooklyn. Yeah, Boston, Brooklyn, the 2 seed versus the 7 seed. Boston and Brooklyn. Talk to me, Caleb.
I hate everything about the Brooklyn Nets. So Boston in 5. KD will drop like 48 one game and they'll win, but
KD's so cold, bro. I love that dude. Villain KD's the best thing to ever happen to the NBA.
I disagree.
It's the worst thing that ever happened to 2K.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think even as a 2-7 seed matchup, this might be the singular best series in the first round. I know obviously some people have some ulterior motives, like obviously Colt's gonna be watching the Timberwolves, but this is probably the best series. Of course, we know what some of these guys for the Nets can do. KD can light it up. Kyrie coming back to Boston after that fiasco a year ago or whatever, but I think it's going to be a hell of a series. They got obviously Tatum can light it up. Celtics have been pretty good all year. They're going to be at home more often than not. But I think Brooklyn goes into Boston in Game 7 and wins this series on the back of KD.
Yeah,
KD puts his foot outside the line, behind the line this year.
This is going to be a really, as Zach said, this is going to be a really, really good series. I'll take the Nets in 7. I kind of do want the Celtics to win just because of the dynamic duo of Jalen and Jason. Right? Yeah, Jalen and Jason. I hope to God they spend their whole career together, because if not, I don't know how it's going to look with them apart. I mean, whatever team they go to. But regardless, whatever they do now, it's going to be a good series. But I don't know. I feel like this might be part of Kyrie's revenge tour as well, because he was with the Celtics before, and they disrespected him as he was on his way out. So I don't know. He's going to go crazy again. Peyton Pritchard is not ready for sure.
Oh yeah, so I'm actually I think from a straight like basketball fan perspective, I'm a little biased, but these 4 guys don't necessarily have like teams that they necessarily cheer for in the playoffs. So I think for people like that and people like from a straight basketball point of view perspective, I think this is going to be the best series. I'm gonna roll with the lower seed. I like the Nets in 7. Um, this series it's a Duke basketball fan dream. Tatum and
Yeah.
Kyrie, you get to see 2 guys that are just absolutely killing. Both of them can go out there and give you 30 a night. So just watching that, I'll be like, I'm not necessarily cheering for either one, but I want to cheer for both of them as players, as a team. I don't really care who wins. But just being able to cheer for both of them, Duke boys, Duke pros in the NBA, it'll be dope to see them go at it. Like Zach said, the storyline: can KD get back to the finals, to the promised land? Kyrie going back to his old town in Boston. We already know how them Boston fans are and how Boston fans are about their sports, and the Celtics are no different. They're going to let Kyrie hear it. Kyrie might do a little jawing and let them hear a little something. But ultimately, I think what it boils down to is I think when both teams are 110% healthy, I think Boston is the better team. But I think the absence of Robert Williams throughout the entire series is going to be the difference. And that's why I have Nets in 7. Because when you look at the paint, the way that Kyrie likes to attack the rim, I think the best finisher in the NBA from the guard position. Obviously, he can't dunk like Giannis, but I think from the guard position, he's the best finisher in the NBA. What he can do around the rim, and KD, obviously, he likes to attack the rim. I just think when you look at the paint and you see Al Horford and you see Daniel Tice, you see them compared to an intimidating shot blocker like Robert Williams. It makes life a little bit easier. So because of that, I'm gonna roll with the Nets in 7.
Hell yeah. I think Kevin Durant's a great basketball player. I think
Best scorer of all time.
he is the most talented scorer of all
I
time.
think he's the best offensive player of all time.
If he was the best, I think he would average more than 30 a game, 30.1, whatever that number is. Katie's never scored 55. Has he ever scored more than 55?
I don't think
You
so.
know what I mean?
He's extremely efficient, though.
He's very efficient. I guarantee he if Katie wanted to score 75, he would go out there and get 75. But anyways, give me Brooklyn in 6. Yeah, they're the lower seed and all that, but they've got Kevin Durant. They've got Kyrie for all the games, for now at least. Tatum's good. Brown's good. You guys already said it, but just give me Brooklyn in 6. Ideally 7, just for a basketball fan's sake, but give me Brooklyn in 6. Yeah. And now we have our last series. And I want Colt to take over. We got Memphis and Minnesota. Colt said they were going to be a top 6 seed.
We were 7. We were close.
He lied.
We
was
were
wrong.
very close. Fun fact: this is Minnesota's first game on ESPN all year long. Second nationally televised game all year. The first nationally televised game we had all year was the play-in tournament against the Clippers on TNT.
Anthony Edwards said that too. Did you see that in his
which is
post game?
absolutely crazy. So that's okay. I mean, we're used to being disrespected, is what it is. It seems like everybody's getting ready for the reservations of the Suns and the Grizzlies in the Western Conference Finals. Rightfully so. I think that the Suns are the best team in the league. And the Grizzlies, I mean, they're a great team. A lot of hype around them. A lot of people have them going to the finals, but a lot of people have them in the Western Conference Finals with the Suns. That seems to be the census among the media and everything. But yeah, it just seems between the no nationally televised games, us being a small market team, ESPN and national media kind of lighten up the Timberwolves for winning the NBA championship in the play-in tournament, which doesn't really make sense to me personally. And I'll say this because there have been multiple articles and multiple things that come out about, like, I'm a LeBron fan, for example, about LeBron and other teams just not caring and just going out there and it's a job. And then you have a team that wins a game and they're genuinely happy about it, and then they show their emotion, and then you want to light them up about it because they're too happy. So I mean, it too happy, too not caring doesn't really make sense. They won a playoff game. We haven't been there in a while, so I don't see why they can't be happy. The Timberwolves have been extremely underrated all year. Like Zach said, for example, the Chicago Bulls, a lot of hype around the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls were this, the Bulls were that all year. Fun fact, we had the same exact record as the Chicago Bulls this year, but you wouldn't know it from what national media portrays about us. With that being said, I'm rolling with the Wolves. Wolves in 7. I think what we did against Ja Morant this year was extremely good. He averaged about 20 points a game, which is really good. Patrick Beverly's a pest. When Anthony Edwards actually locks in on defense, he's a great defender. In the paint, they have Steven Adams, Brandon Clark, guys like that to throw at Cat. I think Cat's going to absolutely feast, and D'Lo has killed the Grizzlies over the past 2 years. I just think the scoring ability and the talent that we have on offense between Ant, Cat, and D'Lo, I just think it's going to be too much. And I like the upset, and I want us to shock the world because I'm looking at all of these platforms, Instagram pages, everything. Everybody has the Grizzlies in 5, 6, and that's fine. That's fine and dandy. You want to pick the 2 seed, that's fine. But just the little credit that the Timberwolves are getting, it's kind of annoying. But I'm used to it at this point, being a Cowboys and a Red Sox fan, having my teams being a little bit disrespected. So I'm gonna roll with the Timberwolves. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Wolves in 7.
I love Ja Morant. I think the Grizzlies are a really good team. I don't think Karl Anthony Towns does as good as you think he's going to do. I think he's going to do phenomenal. But I think Steven Adams is a very underrated defender. Everyone says he's the strongest player in the league, all that shit, whatever. But obviously, Memphis is better without Ja somehow, right? Than they
Yeah,
are
they
with
were
him.
really good. Yeah,
Yeah. Or if not,
their
they're
bench
just
is
as
extremely
good.
deep. They have a
Mhm.
really good bench. I'll give them that.
So I love the guys Minnesota has. They have pure fucking hoopers. Like, let's be honest. D'Lo, Ant, Cat, all these fucking guys. Give me Memphis in 7 because of that. I think just they're better. They're deeper. You know, they're the home team. They're gonna have that game 7 in Memphis. You know, and Memphis fans have been waiting for a team like this in anything.
To be fair, so
So
have our fans.
that's true, but I feel like Memphis might have a few more fans here and there. You know,
I won't argue with
but
that.
yeah, Give me Memphis in 7. I think this will be a great series.
I think it will be
In
too.
7.
So Ryan brought up a good point about Memphis bench, and if one thing that we didn't pick up from the NCAA final is that a deep bench helps out a lot. So I think that's the one thing that they have over Minnesota. So I have Memphis in 6. But one thing I was just thinking about, I find it funny how all these teams in the playoffs, if you have been watching basketball as long as I have, it's crazy to see all these teams in the playoffs. Like Celtics and Bulls, those are the only household name teams. But then we have the freaking Suns being close to the best team in the league now. So I think the shift was needed. So I think this playoffs probably going to be way more exciting than the bubble and way more exciting than last year's. But yeah, Memphis got in 6, but I think this is a second, we'll call it close runner-up to best series in the playoffs right now so far.
Yeah, I agree. Like with the main thing you guys were highlighting. Of course, Memphis has a deeper bench and everything. I would really like to see this series go 7 for the pure fact of whether or not Minnesota wins or not. They would, in theory, get more attention from the national media if it does go 7. And it's a little bit confusing to me. I mean, you bring in a talent like Anthony Edwards, you have an established star like Cat. They should be getting more attention. I think everyone agrees that's fair. And I think if they put up against a good series against what's been one of the poster boys of the NBA like hype train, Ja Morant this year, who like to be fair, without Ja, Memphis gets zero hype either. I mean, for the most part. So I would say that I think it's going to go 7. I do think Memphis is going to be able to win it at home in 7, but it's going to be a good series. And I hope there's a couple games where Anthony Edwards and Ja can go at it, scoring back-to-back buckets like that. If that happens, I think Minnesota will start getting the hype they deserve, and it should be a good series. But I got Memphis in 7.
I actually have the Memphis Grizzlies winning the NBA championship, and I have them winning in 6 games against the T-Wolves.
I thought he was about to say 4. I was going to lose my mind. I was like, dude, if you don't think we're going to win a game.
No, if Cat wasn't Cat, I'd say 4, but he's that man. So I got them in 6.
Oh, you got him to admit it.
Y'all's picks. I'm not mad at it or anything. Just because like watching like analysts, like Instagram pages, Twitter pages, like everything. Like I'm used to the Grizzlies being picked, so I mean it's no surprise to me. I'm used to it. But if the Wolves win, I don't want to see no dick eating from national media, ESPN, nothing. We're gonna stay with the Jaws this, Jaws that, Jaws this, Jaws that. I don't want to see nothing. When Anthony Edwards averages 35-5 this series, I don't want to see shit. I don't want to see nothing.
You got about me.
So we've got about 10 minutes, give or take, left on this episode. So we are going to transition over. Let's talk about hockey. Zach, what do you have for us?
Yeah, sure. Of course, the NBA playoffs start a couple weeks before the NHL playoffs. They actually start May 5th is the day the NHL playoffs start. Of course, we follow the Hurricanes big around here, so they're still going strong. They're leading their division, but the East in the NHL, or at least that conference, it's tough. It's brutal. So, I mean, even after the kind of season that the Canes are going to be able to put together, and they have put together, they're in theory still going to have a brutal matchup in the first round and every single round therefore throughout, which there's a couple different teams that have had established playoff success longer than the Hurricanes, and that is in theory like who it's looking like we will be matched up against. We're looking at a Boston Bruins, for example. Some of these teams that have a lot more veteran leadership than us, so it's going to be tough. Of course, the playoffs in hockey are a lot more physical. That's been kind of the bane of our existence for getting past, into the finals and everything. But we're looking good. I got faith in the boys. I got faith in Rod Brendamore and them. There's some really good teams in the East, though. I don't really touch on the other conferences much just because it's kind of a situation where there's one team who probably arguably has one of the better rosters that have been put together in the past, like 10, 15 years. I don't really talk about that too much, but of course we'll focus on that a little bit more once those actually start a little bit, because it's after the draft as well. And I know we're going to talk about that next week potentially. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'll probably have a lot more dialed up for you guys once it actually starts. But yeah, it's always interesting. And like I said, if you're not into hockey, if you want to ever actually get into hockey, don't watch any regular season games, watch the playoffs, because it's entirely different. Yeah, it's a different animal, man. Like you go to a hockey game, and for a playoff game, I've been to a handful. It's electric in the stadium. It's way more physical. It's definitely fun to watch. So I'll try to get you guys to tune in more.
Oh yeah.
Is that what beanie is that? Is that a Whalers beanie?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's cute.
Whalers. Yeah, it's kind of smooth. I got the guys.
There's our hockey expertise. We're gonna jump into the WNBA actually. So obviously you guys know that we're huge NC State women's basketball fans. Well, NC State women's basketball had 2 girls get drafted. Elisa Cunane went 17 to the Seattle Storm. Congratulations to her. She's been on the show. Also, Kayla Jones got drafted 22nd to the Minnesota Lynx. Great for her. She wasn't even projected to get drafted, and she went in the 2nd round. So in the WNBA draft, there's only 3 rounds, 36 picks in total. So phenomenal. Congratulations to both of those girls. I know that they're going to kill it. Also, Reina Perez signed a training camp contract with the Seattle Storm. So, Reina and Elisa potentially, both of them make the team and everything. They can be hooping with Sue Bird left and right, So, and Brianna Stewart. Is it Brianna or Brianna? I always get Brianna. Yeah, Brianna Stewart. She's also on the Storm, so that's someone for Elisa to learn behind. Just really excited. The girls, they've worked hard. We see the time, effort, dedication, energy, hustle, blood, sweat, through all the words that they put into it. So congratulations to them. And I think it's safe to say most of us have a few professional athlete. Our top 5 favorite professional athletes might look a little different. But that being said, we got about 5 minutes left. Let's into a baseball. What do we think? Yeah.
Hey, wait, before you start,
Oh,
I watched my first full baseball game on TV. Now
hard
that
to do.
I've been listening to y'all talk the talk, it's not as boring as it used to be. So I understand now.
They hit more home runs.
No, I ain't
Players
see
are
that.
cooler now.
I was actually interested to see who was gonna mess up first. You know,
What game did you watch? What game did you watch?
the Red Sox game that y'all were kind of pissed about. This was yesterday. Yeah, the one yesterday.
Oh, you watched it yesterday. Okay.
But I want to talk about Clayton Kershaw real quick. And just purely as a selfish baseball fan, the other day Kershaw was perfect through 7 innings. They took him out, perfect. That's crazy. There's only been 23 perfect games. Going perfect through, I'd say, more than 3 innings in the professional baseball is impressive.
Very impressive.
Just 3. Getting a 1-2-3 inning is good job. Those are pro hitters. Like,
Right.
Cool, good job. Like, wow, nice. But anyways, they took Kershaw out. He only threw like 80 some pitches through 7. He had 2 more innings, and at that rate, he would have been out of there under 100 pitches. Well, they took him out, and as a selfish baseball fan, I hate that because Kershaw's never going to be this close again to a perfect game. Chances are he's never going to be this close again. Kershaw's never thrown one. It's Clayton Kershaw. He's only like 34. Everyone thinks Kershaw's like 40 years old. No, he's only like 34. He's young, like for what we think. But I really wish he could have stayed in and played. And yeah, I know that injury problems. He was hurt last year, and it's early in the season, and they didn't get a spring training. It makes sense, but it just sucks. It also sucks that Joey Gallo leads the MLB in hard hit ball percentage, exit velocity, all these stats like barrel percentage, all these advanced analytics that nobody knows what they really mean. He's first in all of them though, but he's hitting a whopping $160. Unluckiest player in baseball right now. That's my take. Also, the Yankees lost to the Orioles yesterday. And here's the thing. Let me hold the mic real quick. So I've learned something. It's called my teams are just gonna do what they fucking do every year, man. Every fucking year. I guess we could say NC State's gonna blow a lead somehow, get screwed over. The Cowboys are gonna be really, if they have low expectations, they're gonna shatter all of them, then fucking hit those low expectations first round of the playoffs. They got high expectations. We're going 4-12. The Yankees lost to the fucking Orioles. Aroldis Chapman's going to do what he does best, which is either beat women, give up playoff dingers, or walk a run in with the bases loaded.
Oh,
this team has literally been the same. Let's just hit a bunch of home runs because that obviously wins. No, it doesn't, bro. Like
That's all you can do.
that's all we can do, bro. Sign someone fast. Like sign someone that can like just fucking hit a single. Like I'm tired of seeing home run or strikeout. Anyways, that's my.
I want to do this really quick because we have about 3 minutes. I want to just get everybody's division winner predictions as of right now.
Yankees.
Just go through it quick. NL West, I've got the Dodgers. I think everybody should have the Dodgers.
Should have the Dodgers. Okay. If you don't, I'm sorry.
NL Central, I'm rolling with the Brew Crew. I'm rolling with the Brewers.
Brewers.
I'm rolling with the Brewers.
I can fuck with that.
Okay.
Him as well. Their rotation's unreal.
Everyone Brewers. NL East is another story. The Braves won it last year, but the Mets are really good.
Yeah.
But the Mets are like the Yankees in a lot of ways where they have that roster every year and they find a way, whether it's injuries, choking something. So I'm going to roll with the Braves again. He's got the Mets. What does everybody else have?
I like the Mets. Braves are a playoff team, though.
I don't like the Mets. They're okay, but they underperform every year. So DeGrom can't stay healthy either. So I think the Braves win it again.
Halo?
I got Mets.
AL West. I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. I don't know why. I'm rolling with the Astros again. I'm rolling with the Astros. I just think experience. They still got Altuve, Bregman, Alvarez. I'm rolling with the Astros.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Seattle. They're
I
not,
like Seattle too. I like Seattle a lot.
Seattle's a play.
Effective.
Seattle.
I don't think Seattle's a playoff
Seattle's
team.
not a playoff team with the AL East being the way it is. Give me the Astros. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it is the Astros.
it hurts, but it hurts a lot. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Caleb?
Astros.
I actually don't hate the Astros like everyone else does, but
You're
so
right.
give me the Astros.
Central AL Central. I've got the White Sox. I think that's going to be a runaway
Easy.
again.
They're gross.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Now the AL East.
Yankees.
It's going to be the Red Sox.
The Yankees.
It's going to be the Red Sox.
It's gonna be the Orioles.
It's going to be the
guys.
Red Sox.
It's
It's
gonna
going
be
to be
the
the Red Sox.
Orioles are
Killing
gonna
I'll tell you what's
take the
not going to
division.
be. It's not going to be the Toronto Blue Jays. It's not going to be the Blue Jays. I'm just going to.
No, it's not.
It's not going to be the
It's
Blue
gonna be
Jays.
the Orioles with 45.
And it's not going to be the Yankees. It's either going to be the Red Sox or the Rays. One or the other. It's going to be the Red Sox or the Rays. The Rays, because of their sustainability, every year pitching, they find a way to win games down the stretch. They're always going to be good. And the Red Sox, because they're just simply better than the Blue Jays and the Yankees. They're just better. They went to the ALCS last year. They didn't lose anyone except Eduardo Rodriguez, who sucks, and Hunter Renfroe. And we got an upgrade in Jackie Bradley Jr., my goat. But yeah, that's all I've got for today.
I can't even say anything. They're gonna let me down. They're gonna let me down.
Garrett Cole sucks.
I'm fully. Go ahead, Zach.
No, I just said Garrett Cole's trash. Vlad
He
owns him.
sucks.
Vlad owns him.
He's not very good.
Yeah, he is.
He's not.
Yeah, he
He's
is,
a
guys.
He
boss.
sucks.
It's not our fault. Our bullpen is dog ass. Well, actually, the bullpen's really good.
Really
How is
good.
the Yankees bullpen's good this year? But it's Chapman, man.
Garrett Cole is the third best starting pitcher in the AL East right now. When Glass now gets healthy, he'll be number 4. Behind McClanahan and Eovaldi. No cap.
Yeah, I like it. I love it.
He might be the second best on the Yankees.
Severino's dealing
Severino's
right now.
good, man.
He's dealing right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's all I got. My shout outs. Shout out Wolves, Wolves and 7. Shout out Red Sox. I'll be watching you all after the T-Wolves game today. They play at 2:30. And did the Kraken make the playoffs? Did we not make the playoffs this year? No. Next year is our year. Next year is our year. So I guess I'll cheer for the Canes. No, I don't want to seem like a bandwagon.
No, I cheer for the Canes.
I'll cheer
bro.
for the
That's cool.
Canes,
You
just
went-
hometown.
you
I
went to a
went to a
playoff
game.
game
I
last
did go to
year.
a game.
playoff
Yeah.
game.
Right, the Red Canes. Yeah. That's not bad.
But yeah, that's all.
They local.
Who's next?
I'll go ahead. I don't have really too much to say. Of course, I know we'll be back with another episode for the draft. You should check that out, of course. So we're gonna have more on the NBA this first round. Hopefully, it's exciting. Wishing all the best to Colts Timberwolves. Might not have picked them, but I would love to see them get a little bit more attention. You know, I got to stand up for my small market teams. Shout out the Rays. They've been struggling a little bit early in the season, though. It's going to be a long divisional race all year. So we'll see. We'll talk a lot more about that, of course. But yeah, that's about all I got for today.
Not much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for following us on all the socials. Thank you for rolling with us this long, thus far, and all that. Shout out the Mariners, since I couldn't get a word in edgewise, because that's all I was about to say anyway to begin with, because I don't give a damn about anybody else for real, because that's all I have the mental capacity for. But regardless, I love you, we love you, and I love you for being you. So thank you.
Like you said, we love you all. The Red Sox are winning the World Series. The Penguins are winning the Stanley Cup, and the Grizzlies are winning the NBA Finals.
Winning the Super Bowl.
The Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl. So this is our year, obviously.
Ooh.
Oh, one more thing. I'm going with you. Don't F up. Do not. So shout out you for all the changes you've been making thus far. That's it for me.
Thanks for listening, guys. Next week or next episode, episode 50. Maybe we'll do something. Make sure you guys check that one out. Check this one out. Share it. Post it on Instagram. Shout out Pub Sports Talk. They're cool. Love those guys. Shout out Defy Talks Cowboys. He's a great Instagram page. We're gonna try to have him on as a guest soon. Great content. Big Cowboys fan. Really, really cool. So thank you guys so much for listening. Love you. Have a great rest of your day. Don't drink and drive. Make a decision. Stay warm. Stay cool. Actually,
Hmm.
Keith, there.
Stay dry.
Stay dry. We'll catch you up.